I got this interesting question in my DM that I'd love to answer on video. Somebody asked me, as a job seeker who does not have any other engagement, what schedule, what routine do I use so that I don't get burnt out trying to apply for jobs? Because we've realized that looking for a job, it's a job in itself, and in the process there are people who get tired, there are people whose spirits burn down, your esteem keeps dwindling, you keep losing confidence, you keep wondering if you even studied the right course in school. Some people are moving from, maybe you did law in school, but then suddenly you're thinking, oh, should I try nursing? So how do you stay focused while you're on your job search journey? I'm going to answer this question in two ways. The first one is the old school tarmacking. What we used to do back in the day is to list down companies that you'd love to work for. Say you have Coca-Cola, you have EABL, you have whatnot, all those companies that you love to work for. Then ask yourself, do you know anyone who works in those companies? If you do not know anyone who works in those companies, do you know anyone who can link you to someone who works in those companies? Or how do those companies recruit? What do they look for? Do they have a graduate trainee program? So those are some of the things you need to list down those companies, even 10 companies, and then research on them. Do they have mass recruitment, and at what time of the year? So that you do not waste other times of the year trying to get a job at EABL, knowing very well they only recruit in September. Okay, so you need to understand, list down the companies that you love to work for, and then do a research on those companies. Another thing you can do, once you've also found people who can connect you to people within those organizations, you can reach out to them and request if you can have a sit down with them and talk more about your skills. Do not start by soliciting jobs. Soliciting people for jobs is not something that people like. So try create a relationship, try create a network, try connect with these people first before you request for a job. Now, contemporary tarmacking, what you can do right now, the first thing that I've realized that is so impactful is having a platform, having a social media platform. You're able to expose your skills or expose your personality or talk about the things that you already know. Right now, TikTok is one of such ventures, but then professional, depending on your career, you can go on LinkedIn and talk about your skills. You can go on LinkedIn and talk about, the things that interest you or the things that make you different from other people. Also, you can use these social media platforms to, to scout people you'd love to work with. You do not necessarily have to spot a company in these times. You could spot someone and request if they have opportunities that you can help them with. You can volunteer to work for someone. You can volunteer to help someone with something. Let's say right now there are people in senior positions, but then they do not understand how social media works. They do not understand how artificial intelligence works. So you could just pitch in and ask them if you could help them with that. Let's say you spotted someone in your neighborhood. You're a good photographer. You've spotted someone who is probably a good model or someone who does a good job. You can volunteer to help them with their photography for a while if you're using it to build a portfolio for yourself. So right now there's so much you can leverage on social media. You can leverage on what's happening on social media to position yourself for jobs. You do not have to go the long route. Another thing that I've realized that has worked for me, despite using the old school tarmacking method, some of them did not work for me, but the thing that worked for me was leverage on your hobbies. Do the things that you genuinely enjoy doing. If you enjoy going to the gym, enjoy that. If you enjoy going to church, keep doing that. In the process, you'll connect with people who also enjoy that same thing. In the process, you build relationships, you build networks. In the process, you can let them know of the things that you can do. You can ask them for recommendations to people who are, people, like I said, people who are in spaces that you want to be in. If you know someone within, say, in your church, who knows someone who can link you to the CEO of EABL, so that way you get to connect with these people before you start soliciting for jobs. So that's one way to go about it. Now, about a routine, you need to have, the thing is, I do not like the whole concept of having a certain number of jobs to apply for a day. You need to distribute these things to each and every day of the week. Distribute these works. There could be maybe on Mondays just researching on these companies, or researching on places that you want to work at, or just building up your portfolio, establishing your portfolio, creating it. Yeah, you could also just have a day where you just research on a particular company and see what you can do for them. Other days you could just volunteer to do something on social media for a certain company. That is, if that is your skill set. If you're a lawyer, for example, offering pro bono work, like have days to do different things. That's one way of avoiding burnout. If you keep doing the same thing, like getting emails where you're forwarding your CV all the time, you're going to get burnt out. And right now, to be honest, what I've seen, sending CVs on email without lobbying does not bear much results. If you're just sending, so many people are sending their CVs. If you've seen on LinkedIn, when a job is posted, 1 hour down the line, there are like thousands of people who applied. So then forwarding CVs alone is not enough. And sometimes it doesn't work. I'd say even 90%, it doesn't work. Yeah, you have to lobby. Someone has to put in a good word for you. Someone has to recommend you. Yeah, so you could use different days for different things. Don't have the same schedule every day. Maybe forwarding of CVs to emails or sending CVs on an email could be just one day of the week. The other days, find other things to do, and ensure on weekends you have days when you just do the things that you love doing. Use those opportunities to connect with other people, other human, just socialize generally. This video is getting long, so I'll do like a follow-up in the next video.